light. That's when I start tripping like a hitman. Fuck my man, then I love the dynamite. Silent night, there's no light. That's when I start tripping like a hitman. Fuck my man, then I love the dynamite. Silent night, there's no light.
Oh, Chanka.
Oh man. Oh
Uh-oh.
man. This gonna be a very male driven show this evening. So if you're not into that, if you real sensitive, I gotta get a disclaimer first. If you sensitive, turn around. Also, we don't approve of any sexual assault or anything like that, anything egregious or super erroneous. We not with that. If you've had any experience, real life experience, I don't think this is a show for you because this is a celebrity case. So anytime we talk about celebrity things, y'all like to align that with your personal life. This ain't it because this is a very male driven show tonight. Y'all gonna call us probably chauvinist, misogynist, whatever the case may be. But hey man, I'm your homie Boi Dru, the Charm Guy. You know y'all tuned in to Charm Hour Live, and I got my co-pilot Grizzly Adams
Yo,
always in
yo.
the building, kicking something crazy. My vocals coming through clear though. I can hear you.
Yeah, yeah.
We good? Okay.
Mm,
Hey man, I'm gonna let you kick this off. I'm gonna let you kick this off. I got a lot to say about this case because there's so
uh,
much that have come out, but it's a lot that we can actually align to real life situations dealing with men and
mm-hmm.
women in relationships. This is, I think, a lot has unfolded since we
Yeah,
first heard about it.
yeah.
Give
I
me.
think it's I think at the base of it, it's exactly what I expected. I'm not saying that I'm not shocked by some of the stuff that's come out, but it's what I expected though. I expected for it to look like it's looking like he made me do it, but she complicit with it. He forced it. It was his idea, but she was rolling with it and she was all game. I think the crazy part about it is the last day or so when we seen that she quote unquote moved on with somebody else, but she was still doubling back and doing stuff with him. You feel what I'm saying? She was still having sex with him. She quote unquote he supposedly raped her, and then that happened, and then she later will come on and say I had consensual sex with him later on. You feel what I'm saying? That's crazy. That's a bit crazy, right? That's a bit crazy. I think people expect for it to be cut and dry in the sense of oh he forced her, so this is what it got to be. But I think we know better, bro. I think we know better as a whole. I think bro definitely beat on her, and I ain't for beating on no woman. I don't think that's the way to go. You feel what I'm saying in those situations? But I think this whole ordeal, as if he forced her to do something consistently for 11 years, I don't believe it. I never believed that aspect of it, and I think it's just going to continue to show. It's going to continue to go back and forth. My issue now with that though, I don't mind people saying they feel he guilty. I don't mind that, bro. I don't care. We all got our opinions. That's all it is. Celebrity situation. What I do mind though is the rhetoric when you have a discussion with people online and you get this that sister girl act from the women and you almost get it from the men too. Oh man, this say a lot about y'all. Man, shut up, bro. Shut up, bro. I hate like get offline with that. Man, this says a lot about y'all. Like, nah, it don't say nothing about me. You know what said a lot about me? My personal life. How I handle stuff in real life. That's what says a lot about me. Not this shit you be doing. Not this, not this the you talking to with women and they giving you you don't know how it is to be groomed and you listen you don't give good opinions and advice when you on emotion. It's gonna negate it. Your emotions gonna muddy the waters on this on your opinion about it because you internalizing the situation, bro. This has nothing to do with you. This is not your situation. This is not what you had with your first baby daddy. It's not. It
Hey,
is not.
I'm gonna say this too.
Hmm.
This is what I've learned in all of these cases is that autonomy, right? That's what
Yeah.
women fight for. They don't naturally have it.
Mm-mm.
They can't naturally make decisions on their own. They gonna hate this. Oh, what are you saying? Hey, if somebody's grooming you if somebody is Greenhorn, we got somebody. Look at this. He gonna always do this, dog.
Yeah,
He gonna always do this, man.
yeah,
He gonna say,
yeah.
"Oh, I'm stepping out to the game," but then he pops up. Hey, but listen, I'm gonna say it like this right now. Women and feeble-minded men are the only people that can be manipulated and groomed. Because how is somebody? So do you not know right from wrong? Then I'm seeing a lot of this right here too. We spoke on the age difference thing before, but I'm gonna say it again. Okay. Oh, she was 19. He was 37. Yes, I think it's weird for old guys to mess with super young girls. But are we saying that somebody at 19 don't know right from wrong? Are we saying that
Hey, a
somebody at
19-year-old could go
19?
bust his gun.
I'm just saying,
19-year-old, a 37-year-old could send a 19-year-old to war. I mean,
hey, I'm just saying, yeah, I went to war at 18. So I'm just saying, like, are we saying, and then what's the difference when we look at, like, let's say a Jalen Green and Drea Michelle?
yeah.
You know, we don't see a lot of we don't call that really predatorial. In some ways, for young men, they look at that as a fantasy. So I'm just saying, if a 19-year-old woman went out and committed a crime, I'm asking everybody out there, if you're just tuning in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're on YouTube. Facebook, I think y'all needed some nuts on the timeline because I'm seeing a lot of weak-ass comments. I'm saying this right now. If a 19-year-old woman went out and committed a murder, and it was your family member, are you going to use the same logic that she doesn't know what's going on? She doesn't know what's happening. And that actually, I'm taking this from Grizzly because Grizzly said this.
Man.
Are you going to say that she doesn't know what's going on?
So
she shouldn't go to jail? I think that man froze. He got caught off in the matrix.
Can you hear me? Can you hear
Oh yeah,
me?
I can hear you good.
Yeah, I think he froze for a second. We'll, let him come back. But
what's the point of legal
you bouncing in and out,
age
Rob?
if we're gonna frown upon them being law? Age shouldn't really play a factor in because we're talking about people of legal age. I can't say a 21-year-old had a DUI. He was only 21. No, I mean that was the legal age, so I don't get it.
I mean,
it's just a bunch of chumps out here.
I think at the end of the day, that's what it is. And you see I see a lot of men co-signing poor behavior and really putting a cover on these women unnecessarily, catering to an audience. I don't know why y'all do that, because listen, here's my issue with this. First off, I, like many people, I do think Diddy's a weirdo. I think he's a weirdo. I think he's done some things that I find egregious. But what's on trial here is, did he traffic someone? Did he commit any real crimes? And it seems like they're having a tough time proving that. When Cassie came out with this, it seemed like she really substantiated what a lot of people have said about Diddy. But as we start to roll out these text messages, as we start to see, like, wait a minute, are you kind of complicit? Dog, there's even in her cross-examination where they ask her, why did he tell you to see if these were police officers? Or if you were potentially picking up somebody as a police officer? She said, because it was illegal. You are admitting at this point that from that point on, you are participating in something illegal. This is a RICO case. Yeah. How are you not a part of the RICO?
Yeah, go ahead, Rob.
No, like I say about the blacks all the time, the blacks aren't really capable of critical thinking. So when you're dealing with the blacks, you're dealing with a group of people that can only see things as black and white. The blacks don't listen to actually what you're being charged with. Here's what the blacks hear. Diddy's being charged with being a not good person. That's what they think that this case is about. Is he a not good person? And any critical thing, because remember, blacks can only think in black and white. They see everything through a filter of color. So, they're not capable of critical thinking. You know what I'm saying? Like, and remember, black isn't a race. Black is an ideology. You know what I'm saying? that a lot of people that happen to be our colors engage in, where they only see things through the lens of black and white. Because if Cassie was a white woman accusing Diddy of this, the very blacks would be like, no, she was a co-participant.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because they
Yeah.
can't see things outside of that spectrum. That's just the
Yeah.
reality of it is. Shout out to
Yeah.
Lady Hip Hop, a feminist until she got married, and now she's no longer a feminist, and I guess she's one of my blockers. Shout out to Casey, another girl who blocked me, who is a poet who speaks about people being able to be heard and be free. But because I said that I don't see him as 100% guilty. Shout out to Robert J. Valentine. Shout out to Robert J. Valentine, a real grade A coward. A chef or whatever he calls himself, a caterer who wants to come throw shots, but then when it's time to stand on it, he goes and deletes his post. You're a grade A coward, and anybody who want to sit flat-footed and debate me, the door is always open. But people like Lady Hip Hop and Casey, whatever her name is, and Robert J. Valentine, they don't have the gall to sit in front and actually sit flat-footed and stand.
You want some
Boy, I ain't playing with him. Boy, I ain't playing with him today.
It's just the truth. Lady Hip Hop engages in cowardice. She's a coward. The reality is when it comes to standing on her position. I mean, maybe her husband can come sit in front of me and debate flat-footed.
Oh man,
I don't know.
I was on Clubhouse today, and I know y'all retired y'all Clubhouse card, but I was in a group and I'm listening to them go back and forth, and I let everybody go for like 30, 40 minutes. I was driving from Cypress to Pasadena, so I had a long ride. And I just came off mic and I said, hey, man, y'all got to understand what it's boiled down to. A man once said, maybe like 2 years ago, I first heard him say that. Me and my boy Chuck, we listened to it, but we didn't take it to heart. He said, you really have to treat women like children. And I was like, nah, I don't agree with that. And ever since he said it, every little time and now and again, it's proven him to be right. That's how society looks at this situation. You really have to. It's that they're addressing you as if you have to think for them. This is what this is. This is what this boils down to in every situation. Oh, you should have known better. She was an adult, but you should have known better. That's how I talk when I tell my daughter who's 16 and she arguing with my 8-year-old son. I be saying, "Hey, you know better." That's what I say. I say, "Hey, you know better," because he's not developed to know right from wrong consistently. He knows, but he don't know on your level. So I think when it comes to these situations, black men, you have to understand your position in this, bro. You are a predator. You are viewed as a predator to all. It don't matter if it's a. What's that?
They're the blacks. They can't think. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, that's all of them.
You're 100% right.
All the D-Lo, they're black. They can't think. This is reality.
No, it wasn't that group. It wasn't that group.
My bad. Hey, man, it was friendly fire. My bad.
I'm gonna say this, dog. If you ain't never been in a situation where a chick been out here saying stuff about you and had to go to trial and it turn around and the real truth come out, then you ain't gonna really understand what we talking about. A lot of y'all up there, oh my God, like, you know what I'm saying, putting on this cape. But why are we acting like women don't make mistakes? Why are we acting like women don't why are we acting like women don't operate in deception at times?
Yeah.
I've never been. My bad. Hey,
no, go ahead.
If you were to post this statement right here, I believe that Diddy is innocent until proven guilty. That'd be a hateful statement.
Yeah.
It would be. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it is.
Hey, Teray, y'all know Teray is the guy that the goofy gossiping nigga. He was on TMZ, right? Talking to the guy, the white dude, the Jewish dude who is on TMZ. And he was basically telling Teray, hey, these things sound egregious, but I don't think the case is being proven. I don't think that this is coming off as racketeering and what they're saying. Here goes Teray. You don't think so? You don't really believe so? I think it is. And that dude's a lawyer, and he's telling them, dog, it seems pretty consensual. Yeah. I mean, the video, look, it looks terrible. I'm not down with no type of domestic abuse or nothing. Yeah. But it's like, that's, You see that, and then after that, look at her take. Hey, bro, let's cut the bullshit. I'm ready to talk. I'm taking off the gloves. I'm taking off the everything. Say, man, y'all go. So I'm talking to you regular niggas out there. I'm talking to regular niggas. Fuck the celebrity shit. Y'all fucking with women who don't know who they fucking. So they just obliviously out here fucking somebody, and you still want to be with her and put a baby in her? That's what y'all doing? It sounds like that's what y'all doing. A lot of y'all out here, according to what y'all saying on the timeline, you cool with calling your old lady, find out she doing something she not supposed to, and you still gonna love her anyway. That's what you say. You saying that you love her under all circumstances. You ain't got no standard, no nothing. That's
Hey,
like what you saying.
I feel you on that, but let's just we could just stay on the actual trial. Diddy would be guilty if he was being charged with domestic violence.
Yeah, for sure.
He's not being. It's not our fault that he mischarged. So we're bad. Like, we're evil people because we're observing something without bias and then saying, I see reasonable doubt. In a grand scheme of things, I think Diddy probably is 60% guilty. That's how I had to say. I say he probably 50. Man, he might be 40 to 60% guilty. Then he's probably 40 to 60% not guilty. That's what reasonable doubt is. Reasonable doubt means that unless you can find somebody 100% guilty, they are not guilty. Yeah. How can you be an objective person listening to what we're hearing about this case and say that you have no doubt that 100% emphatically Diddy solely without co-conspirator, without assistance, is guilty of what's being charged? You cannot come to that conclusion as an objective thinker. So my only conclusion is most people watching this are not capable of objective thinking. Because if
you have to be a woman with degrees. Because if you're not a woman with any type of degree, then you can't make any type of decision about
you're talking about that post Genesis Blue made. I mean, shame on her. Who are you to say that we're not capable of because you're a therapist? First off, therapists are some of the most craziest people I know. So we're just gonna be honest. I have never met a mental health professional outside of Ray. Shout out to brother Ray. Outside of Ray, I've only met one mental health professional where if you didn't tell me that they were a mental health professional based on their behavior, I would be like, that guy seems like he has a heightened understanding of human interaction between humans. Most of y'all, man, look. Anyway, so you're so qualified that you can't even have a conversation because a man made mansplain.
I think it's crazy
you a motherfucker. Instead of trying to help it, you destroy it, brother.
Yeah. I think it's funny though, because you've seen a couple of people post that, and I'm thinking like, you think you being a professional changes the evidence? Like, you think your profession, your expertise changes the evidence of what we seeing? I think black people, when it comes to this shit, bro, black people, every time we talk, I think we realize that we're more far gone than we thought. And to get back to my point a second ago about I just think that in situations that in our community and even black men themselves view other black men as just predators, bro. So it doesn't matter what the evidence say. It doesn't matter what the circumstance, how false the narrative is. They just see him and see her and say, oh, he's older too. Oh, he's definitely a predator. There's no way she could have did this. And it's shaky. Then you get these overly emotional women who went through some bullshit with their baby dad and be like, how you gonna say this? Listen. They gonna prove you right every time. What you say, it's hard for black people to think. It's just hard. If it's not black and white, it's
hard for them to think outside of the context of color. Or for our women, a lot of times they layer every situation on top of their lived experience.
Yeah.
So they see Tory and Megan in a dispute, they're gonna layer that above their experience with abuse. If they see Diddy, we had to do with our sister. I had to explicitly say, you and her are not in comparison.
Yeah.
How many times did it take me to get her to fully remove herself?
Yeah. Hey, but listen,
that's the standard. That's the standard.
Every story you're gonna hear from them, every story from every woman, I've never heard a woman without you having to pry ever admit where they fucked up.
Yeah.
Every woman has a he's abusive story. Every
Mm-hmm.
single woman has a this is the worst nigga since the Trump administration. He was the worst to me. They're never gonna sit there and say, hey, I did come in and curse him out. A woman to come tell you the story and say he hit me. How many men out there went to jail? How many men lost their life? How many men went and fought for a woman and didn't have the whole story? He hit me in
Yeah.
the face. Then when the story came out, oh, you burnt him with a cigarette lighter after you went through his phone. That's
Yeah,
why he slapped the fuck out of you. But I didn't know that. It's
yeah,
like you never get the full story. So for many of us that know, what we're seeing in this Cassie situation is even me included, we thought, damn, Diddy, you terrible. You was making that girl do this. You was making that girl do that. I thought that. We was all thinking that. Hey, that text thread don't lie, dog. That text thread tells something different.
yeah.
I'm
Hey,
looking forward to this. Go ahead.
even if he did impose his will on her doing things she didn't want to do, it's a hell of a reasonable doubt that's been raised. They can
Yeah.
raise some reasonable doubt. I'm not saying it's not possible that he could have forced her to do something, but ain't no way as a red-blooded American with a brain, I can listen to that and be like, well, I just don't see how emphatically he is guilty of what's charged. No, there's reasonable doubt. If a woman who's being forced to do some things moves on to another man, but still goes back to participate in freak-offs, that's a reasonable doubt. If a woman who's being forced to participate in freak-offs is doing the research, finding the male escorts, hiring them, doing the hiring and firing, that's a reasonable doubt. If a woman who's being forced to be engaged in freak-offs yet has met the man who would want to be her husband and father of her children, and during intercourse with Diddy is answering the phone, deceiving him, that's a reasonable doubt. If a woman is saying, I can't wait till the next freak off, that's a reasonable doubt. How am I a misogynist for like
Listen,
like, how am I
listen.
for-
Listen, Robert and Andrew. Let me tell y'all this. The same people who said that boy that made you niggas predators in every situation have also, while they did that, they told black women that they're victims, that they're superior, that they're the most educated, and that they're never wrong. So with that said, anytime you're not affirming them or praising them or some kind of uplifting, then you're disrespecting them. So that's why you're a misogynist, because anytime you're not doing that, you dead wrong. They told him that you're a predator and she's perfect and she's a victim and she's superior and she's more smarter than you.
Hey, that's just like these statues or these statues popping up around the world. These overweight, out of shape black women. Y'all think that's the representative of y'all? Y'all cool with that? Like,
But
I
but
bet you, is that even a black sculptor who
but
did that?
but listen. 8 out of 10 black people are obese, bro. I'm overweight, my boy. That's men and women included. I think
yeah,
it's like 4 out of 5 black women overweight, bro. So when we say that's literally the average woman. That shit suck. That's like they put a fat nigga up there, and I'm saying, man, that ain't the bro. Listen, that's just what it is.
yeah. I mean, I thought it was interesting at first because to me, she looked like a Cuban woman selling fish on the side of the street.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, man, that's the everyday black woman. But we live in today the spirit of inclusion. And then we got like, and we went from like inclusion. There's a healthy space for inclusion. Like, okay, to me, inclusion is like a woman deserves a chance to be a police officer, right? That's
Yeah.
healthy inclusion, right? You know, a kid who doesn't go to Bel Air or private school or whatever deserves a legit opportunity to apply and be considered for Harvard if he or she meets the qualification. That's healthy inclusion. A
Yeah.
transvestite to a boy who thinks that he's a woman, identifies as a woman, being able to compete in a jiu-jitsu tournament and choke out little girls, that's not healthy inclusion. We have moved to perverted inclusion. Like, because someone feeling like a woman, using women, and to be honest, that's how the left lost the black man. The left lost the black man by going too far with the inclusion stuff. You know what I'm saying? And like a lot of DEI does go too far. Like, I don't think there's any reason why you shouldn't be able to have a black student union. That's not hurting white people.
For sure.
But at the same time, you kind of created this. Donald Trump is a creation of the left. Donald Trump is not a creation of the right. Donald Trump is a creation of the left. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we just always going. So I think the fat black statue is perfect because he's inclusive.
Yeah.
Now they're talking about body positivity. Why we got to be positive about a bitch weighing 300 pounds?
Yeah. It's crazy. You said Donald Trump is the creation of the left. Kind of how Charleston White is like the creation of like the degeneracy of hip hop, kind of like, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy. You feel what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
And Charleston White just dropped a classic. Another classic with Say Cheese. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I gotta go watch it. Yeah.
Hey,
great.
Here's the thing. I'm not finna. The only thing a woman really respects at the end of the day is the truth.
Yeah.
The only thing that's gonna stand tall is the truth. So while you niggas get on here and cater to the audience, the only thing she gonna respect at the end of the day is the truth. That's what you gotta do. You gotta keep it real. We gotta call a spade a spade. Listen, there are women out here. There are men that have been abused, that have been really abused, really manipulated, really fighting for their life.
Yeah.
This is not about them. But I just feel like this blanket of abuse, especially when it comes to money, has been just used, I mean, like, heavily. Everybody's being abused. This chick with Shannon Sharp, oh, I got an OnlyFans, but I was also abused and manipulated to doing stuff with Shannon Sharp.
Yeah.
Give me $50 million. Oh, Cassie, I was manipulated. I didn't know what I was doing. I loved him. Because I loved him, I can be manipulated. I can just be.
Can we take a minute to talk about the Mann Act when you finish?
Let's go ahead.
Please go. Right now. You need
to
lay it on.
Man. Jack Johnson walked with a white woman so that Shannon Sharp could run. You know, the Mann Act is really a crazy act, but I've been learning more and more about this. Basically, man, the Mann Act can be used to basically make any man a sex trafficker. You travel across state lines for anything deemed explicit, which what does explicit mean? See, I thought the Mann Act meant if you go across state lines and it was a sex worker. No, any act deemed explicit. Jack Johnson was arrested at the Mann Act. He went across state lines with his wife. You have male and female co-workers went across state lines. So that act is really what Diddy's being charged with, and it's really a perversion of the law. That's why people are so confused. A lot of our people, granted, a lot of people don't read in 2025 or whatever. So people really think Diddy's on charge for like domestic abuse or whatever. He's on charge for his trial is about bringing people across state lines and coercing them into explicit acts. Now, what does coerce mean? Nobody knows. That's what's so dangerous about this charge. You know what I'm saying? If you take a woman out to a fine dining establishment and you buy her something nice and you look good and smell good, did you coerce her into a sexual act? That's kind of like, man, I think all men, man, if you get a chance to check out what this tear that Judge Joe Brown is on right now, just breaking this down, because we have a lot of crazy laws in this country that if they want you, you can be taken down to. Sodomy is illegal in about 26 states. A lot in Texas, for example, like when gay men having sex is illegal. That's male on male sodomy. There's states in Tennessee, I believe, oral sex is illegal. You know what I'm saying? 3 to 15 years. So like, man, it's just a crazy act that just shows how deep their bag is. If they want you, they can come get you. Between the law and the court of public opinion, shit, man, if they want you, good luck.
Now I don't want to do this. I don't. Now I'm not a subscriber to. This is me. This is where I might differ from y'all. I don't want to get into this space of, caping for niggas that do weird shit. I'm not caping for no Bill Cosby at the end of the day. I'm not
Yeah,
caping for Diddy because I'm gonna be honest with you. I think their super lustful, perverted spirits are why they are in this predicament in the first place.
Without a
Please let's
doubt.
not, please let's not get this confused, y'all. The
mm-hmm.
Without a
reason
doubt.
why they are in this position is because they are too freaky. They've done a lot of freaky stuff, and that's why they're here. But
True.
this is a freaky place we live in. We allow all kind of freaky, nasty type of stuff. And
Yeah,
so at the end of the day, Diddy is a child of that. All the people that do all this freaky stuff, even Bill Cosby, they are birthed from that type of perversion that we've allowed in this country. So they
yeah,
have to find something. They have to get them with something because at the end of the day, these white men do the same thing. They do the
yeah.
exact same thing.
Here's the thing. They hanging these black men by their testicles and by their Johnsons, right? Based off their lustful ways. And Bill Cosby, do I think Bill Cosby was raping them? Nah, I think Bill Cosby had a fetish. Most of those women were doing drugs with him, whatever. You see the shit with Diddy, whatever. They're doing that to them while telling everybody else to be sexually liberated. Think about this. Think
Wow, that's a
about it.
good connection.
Think about it. They're telling everybody else, be sexual liberated, sleep with as many people you want. It's your body, your choice. Abort the baby. Uh, be gay, be bi, be trans. But they're steady hanging black men by their Johnsons because at the end of the day, they view you as a predator no matter what. Even if you get with someone who's sexually liberated and doing, we talking about somebody that was willing to allow somebody to pee in their mouth, a
Mhm.
prostitute. This ain't just regular. This ain't me meeting a woman on Facebook, talking to her for a week, and we doing wild stuff. This ain't Rob and Drew. This ain't us being 18 and a neighborhood freak, and we know her, she know us, and we run the train on her. Even though that's wild, this is not that. This is her finding prostitutes off the internet and they're urinate like, bro, you've heard of plenty of men being with prostitutes. You've never heard in your life about a man going down and giving a prostitute oral sex. That's what she was doing. This
Hey,
is the
she was
wildest level.
coerced. She was
Yeah,
coerced.
cool
She didn't know what
horse.
she was doing.
Cool horse. So this is the wildest level of shit that her and he did. And don't get me twisted because we always talk about the level of demonic with the sex, bro. Sex brings a certain type of evil. I don't care what nobody say. And when you mix sex with money, it's crazy because they work interchangeable. It's people who use money to get sex, and it's people that use sex to get money. And it's demonic, and they run parallel because they both got a lot of demons. So when you do this, it just makes it easier, a la Shannon Sharp, for them to hang you by your testicles when they want to. Oh, he done did what? Bet we'll keep that in our back pocket and we'll run it and we'll spin it. And when we spin it, nobody really question us why, because he's black and we could just paint him as a fucking predator like he really is. Come on,
Hey,
bro.
hey, let me say this because this ain't gonna be gender specific. This for men and women. I've said it before. I will say it again. When you are not having sex in the proper place, you are setting yourself up for drama, trauma, and mayhem. When you are not having sex with your wife, you are causing chaos. And when you are not having sex with your husband, you are living in it. And we are seeing this play out all the time. Women are capped. You're not as promiscuous. You can act like you are, but you are not this polyamorous person that you say you are to be. Because if that's the case, this would have never been an issue. Only women are retroactively going back and saying, I was egregiously assaulted. Men aren't doing that. I mean, unless they're acting like women, okay? Men, yes, you can go out and be as freaky as you want to, but because you've caused so much mayhem, you will have to pay for this in the end. When you do that, I'm telling my boys that. I'm teaching my kids this. I don't care if it's not the cool thing. You need to wait till you are married. because we are watching this in front of our face. People are going to jail. People are going to court. Bastard children are being born and aren't having a balanced household because of things like this. So don't take this episode as though we're just ragging on women. Don't take this episode as we just, we're not doing that. But we need an episode where we can have some balls and say that it was real, because I know men don't like when I say this, but we need to hold women accountable too. I'm not finna be in your amen corner when you doing crazy shit. You want me to be honest? I feel like 10 years, 11 years of this shit right here, at some point, she's complicit. She's complicit. There's no way that you just up here, the devil made me do it. That's what it sounds like. The devil made me do it. The devil made me do it.
Why is there no
That's why.
text message? Why is there no text message of Sean? I've had enough of these. I'm moving on with my life. I'm done with these free calls. No, you stay here. Why do we not have that text message?
Maybe they're gonna come. Do you think they'll show up? Maybe they'll come.
Well. I know she done, right? I think she done testifying. I think she's done. I think she off the stand. I don't think the defense has called they witnesses yet. That's what it's finna get tricky at. I don't think the defense has called their witnesses yet. I think just the prosecution was, they start calling his witnesses. Ain't no telling what they finna say. Ain't no telling what they finna say. They probably finna have somebody say, yeah, we had a freak off. She found us online. We had a freak off Friday through Sunday, and then she called me Wednesday, and she snuck to where I was at, and we had, like, I can only imagine. I can only imagine, because this is, bro, we just 3-4 days into this, bro. Ain't no telling where this is finna go.
And then that whole, like, I was scared. I was scared. I've never seen fear be a defense like this. You know, because I mean, if that's the case, I mean, hey man, I was scared. That's why I bust my gun at them dudes, man.
Yeah,
I was
can't
scared.
do that. You can't do that. You can't say, man, Robert, why did you go and shoot up those guys on Sandpiper, man? Well, Courtney said if I don't do it, he gonna kill me. Oh, okay. So Courtney made you do it. Cool. Let's go lock him up. Oh, you coming with him though? You still going to jail? You're still going to jail.
I was scared.
Yeah. You still going? You gonna be scared of that motherfucker too? You still going to jail? You feel me? Like, come on, dog.
The devil made me do it.
Yeah.
Hey, we have a young kid, Carmelo Anthony. He's really a kid.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, no matter what, he is a kid. I don't think that, in all honesty, Carmelo Anthony, a 17-year-old kid, can really make the decision of a 35 to 40-year-old man. But you know what? The chances of him going to jail are very much so likely.
Yeah.
Because he made a life-changing choice that he felt like he was afraid, but he's going to go to prison.
Yeah.
So we just have this, I think at a certain age, you know right from wrong. You know right from wrong. You know what you should and shouldn't be doing. And I think we move the goalpost depending on who it is. We tend to move the goalpost depending on who it is. I'm gonna say this to black men. I'm gonna go to black men. First off, the whole get with all the hoes you can, that shit gotta change. All the street shit, that shit gotta change. And guess what else? Guess what else gotta change? Grow some fucking balls.
Yeah.
If she wrong, say she wrong. If it's not right, if it ain't lining up, say that. Y'all don't gotta get on here. It's not, if you feel like I'm talking to you, that's just hit dog holler, because there's a bunch of y'all.
Yeah.
Especially on Facebook, it's a bunch of y'all that, I would damn near think you a feminist.
Yeah.
Like, man, grow some balls. We ain't up here. We not up here bashing women. We ain't up here. We ain't saying nothing about Michelle Obama, regardless of how we feel about her husband's politics. Well, we did correct her about that podcast. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We got on her about that.
That podcast trash.
We don't just stay on her, because even though the podcast is garbage, she's essentially an elegant woman, in my opinion.
Yeah.
We're coming at debauchery, men or women. So we need to be able to come at debauchery and things that we find that are terrible.
I got nothing for that. That's true.
mean, hey man, as we ain't gonna cook too much longer. I'm on the road.
Hey,
We
real
getting
quick, I
tips.
got one real quick. What y'all think about that guy coming out saying with Tory case saying that a security guard saying Tory didn't shoot her or whatever.
You just gave a rundown on why Diddy got without a reasonable doubt, right? That's what I said correctly.
Mm-hmm.
So Tory Lane didn't have no DNA, fingerprints on the gun. The person who quote unquote got shot lied and said quote unquote she didn't got shot. She said she got shot in both feet. It's video of this. She said she got shot in both feet. That was a lie. She said they never had sex. That was a lie. Quote unquote, she said dance. That was a lie. The star witness that was involved in the altercation with her behind him got what you got immunity from the situation. One of they star witnesses disappeared when it's time. I don't see how he got convicted. I don't see how he got convicted.
Yeah, who was his
Before we
lawyer?
even
Man?
get to that.
Yeah, you talk about bad legal work, man. But he did have that call from jail. That's right.
Yeah.
With
He
Harder.
apologized to Kelsey about what happened, but we can take that as if he was apologizing because he had sex with both of them. On top of that, the star witness, the person who, the quote unquote victim, went behind her best friend's back and slept with him. It's so much, bro. It's so much. It's that's not even a like. Come on, bro. Like, come on, bro. Come on, bro. That man shouldn't be in jail for that, bro. That man
Hey
shouldn't be
man,
in jail.
hoes lie too. Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna be honest. I know they not gonna like it. I know y'all out in TV land not gonna like it. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all are super convinced that everything that come out of celebrities' mouth, whether they men or women, is accurate. But I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't. Hey, I have been lied on. I have been lied on until I went to court, and the transcript say something different.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna just be honest. I've been through it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm sure people heard all kind of shit about me, but when we
Yeah.
went to court, and you know what I did as a man? I ain't come back on here and say nothing. I don't gotta say nothing. The truth stand tall. I
Yeah.
even man, I've had real beef. I've had like real life beef. I don't bring that shit here because at the end
Yeah.
of the day, the truth stand tall. So what do I
Yeah.
think about it? It probably. I mean, listen. You got on TV. This lady Megan Thee Stallion got on TV and lied about sleeping with this man. So if you lied about that, amongst other shit that you lied about didn't add up, I wouldn't doubt it. It would fall right in line with what we think about you at the end of the day. And what these women tend to do is when they feel like you've screwed them over, they want to be the judge and the jury. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
listen, Megan Thee Stallion is not the only woman that'll send a nigga to jail.
Nah.
Yeah.
She is,
No.
hey, I'm sure there's some baby mamas out there. They could send that nigga to jail. They would do it today. They
Yeah.
just don't. They don't. I don't think the average woman without male leadership. I'm gonna say this again. I'm gonna do my Dr. Umar, my best Dr. Umar impersonation. I'm gonna say it again. A woman without a male leader does not have any real morals and does not care about who she harms or hurt because she does not have any guidance. A woman without a strong, positive male leadership is going to look for external leadership. That's why they look for validation in their friends. That's why they go out and look. They talk about therapy. Man, these hoes been in therapy 40 years and ain't healed from shit.
Yeah.
Don't seem like they're
All
even
they
working it.
all they therapists do is validate how they feel. They gonna tell you,
Yeah.
my therapist told me. I said, well, your therapist is a bozo because your
Yeah.
therapist should be having you hold yourself accountable. Which is why I say women don't naturally have autonomy. They cannot naturally make the because if you can make autonomy means, for those that don't know, you can independently make decisions on your own. You can independently make, and if you can do that, then you can say, this is my choice. This is what I did. I know I did it. So if you
Yeah.
independently made a choice to open your legs and have that baby and not be married, then guess who's responsible? Y'all don't say that.
Yeah. Hey.
So man,
Shout out to Don Staley. I gotta find a woman to compliment. That's the coach of the South Carolina Gamecocks. Shout out
Gotta be
Don
honest.
Staley.
You gotta be honest. And before we tap out, I'm gonna say this. because you dressed about the men. It's like I just don't know how to not be honest and give my opinion on how I feel when I'm asked or when I'm presented the time to do so. I'm never gonna agree with anybody just to agree with you. That's on this podcast. That's on any social media platform. That's on the streets. I'm the nigga that's gonna get into it with the world if we're talking about something and I feel a certain way. If a nigga feel a certain way, it don't matter. It don't matter. So I tell a nigga in the streets that. I tell a nigga that's like that. So we're on the internet and we talking the sisterhood, the sister girl act don't intimidate me, dog. I get a lot of men fall for that shit. They looking for some validation from women, and my reputation with women is based on my my mama, my sister, my lady, my even my fucking ex. You're not gonna find none of them to say, man, he mistreated her, he disrespectful. You never gonna find that. But you also never gonna find. They also gonna say he gonna say what he gonna say and how he feel is how he gonna tell you. You never gotta guess how I feel about you. I'm gonna be honest off the top. But one thing I'm never doing is walking with the crowd. And I think boys be like, man, you always going against the grain. The problem is not I'm always going against the grain. It's that you always going with the grain, and that's why we're where we're at right now.
Mm-hmm. Hey,
Hey, I agree, man. I think that's anybody that know me know that's me. And I
Yeah,
would say that about y'all guys. That's why I think we get along is, you
yeah,
know, I don't always agree with Rob, the new Craig Mack. That's a little Miss T. That's a Miss
no,
T
I
little.
don't even know what I mean, but I'll take.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, me and Courtney, man, we don't always agree. You know what I'm
Nah,
saying? But at the end of the day, I think we can agree that we solid. We're men. You know what
Yeah.
I'm
yeah,
saying? But
for
anybody
sure.
know my timeline, my friend, people that if you think I'm your friend or not, I do not agree with everybody. In fact, if you're my friend, more than likely, you've agreed with me way more than you've ever agreed with me. I got a shout out to Andre D. Mosley. You know what I'm saying? Worthing alumni with me. Me and this nigga been arguing over 20 years, and that's our relationship. Like
Yeah.
essentially, that's what we do. We argue. We've argued about some. Occasionally, when he come through for me and he in agreement, he agreed. But for the most part, we've been arguing for 20 years, man. That's just how it is. So I hold my nuts. If I feel this way, wouldn't you want that? I want somebody who's gonna be real with me.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a friend of mine, I want you to tell me, nah, dog, I don't like that. I think you're wrong, and that's what I want. You know what I'm saying? I don't want somebody just agreeable. You're just everything I say, you're agreeing with it. Like, nah, I'm not rocking with that.
Yep.
Hey, man, this we had to get out here and do this. We wasn't gonna keep this long, man. We might do it again while I'm out here on the road, man.
Yeah.
Uh, y'all not gonna like this episode. We know that. Facebook, we know what y'all finna do. Whatever. I'm gonna make sure y'all get in. We're addressing all comments. If you want to get on there and say what you guys say, that's cool. YouTube, y'all already know what it is. Y'all need to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, throw 50K in the chat. We on the 50K sub movement here on the channel, man. Man, we just gonna always keep it real here on the Charm Hour, man. I'm glad y'all could tune in. Love y'all. Peace.
All right.
Oh, Charm Guy.